Hey, this is Mark, and today I've got two iPhone 6 and one 6 Plus with long screw damage. So we're going to start off with the easiest one. This is a 6 that just has damage in this center hole, and you can see the end of this trace right here. This is the 1.8 volt line, PP1V8, and from there it's going to provide the LCD with 1.8 volts via this filter right here. And then it also, I believe it provides some 1.8 over here for cameras. So that is cut, and that's likely to be the only problem with this device. So there's the end of it. It used to come straight across and then go at an angle. So one small jumper, and this one should be done. All right, there's my wire. Okay, that should do it for that one. Just want to clean off the flux, make sure it doesn't look like anything is grounded anywhere. And that looks good. Just getting all these cotton fibers out of there. Get that little guy out of there too. All right, now we should be good. And all I'm looking for here is just to get an Apple logo. And there we go. We have Apple logo. So Now the easy work for the night is done. Let's see, which one do I want to do next? I've got 6 with damage to 2 holes, or a 6 plus with damage to 3. Start off with the 6. Come on. Let's see how spongy that is. Oh, that's pretty spongy. Was hoping I could get away with not taking the CPU shield off. Maybe I still can, but probably not. That's pretty bad. Alright, I'm gonna have to get underneath this trace for ear speaker. Yay! Okay. Alright, that needs more flux and some hot air. plastic got a little bit melty, but it's going to be okay. Alright, now that that component is no longer on the pad, I can very, very carefully pry this trace up to get to the end of the broken trace that's under here. There we go. Oh man, that is a bunch of the top layer has pulled the second layer off. So I'm trying to kind of cut between them and cut all these thermal vias that connect them to each other, but it's not going so well. So I am going to have to take the shield off of the CPU. So I'm scoring this top ground plane so that I can peel it off and control what parts of it peel off and how far. Whew. Man, this is a mess. This board really delaminated, much more than I've seen in a while. Alright, so there's a via right here that gets pulled out sometimes, and sometimes I have to dig down into the third layer to connect, but it looks like I might be able to use what is there. Just want to take a diode mode reading on that line and make sure that I do have a path through to the CPU. Alright, I'm getting open line on it. So I might have to get down here into the third layer. I thought that I probably would. Yeah. So now this is the second layer of ground plane in this area that I'm removing to get down into the third layer of the 10-layer PCB. Now from that via, the trace runs straight left and then kind of angles up towards these components. I want to pick out this loose stuff, but without causing any more damage. There's also a trace that runs along here that is necessary for touch, so I want to make sure I'm not damaging that. Oh yeah, there's that trace is seen better days. All right. There we go. That's what I need. So there's a section of this trace missing that was the one that connected to this via that then went up a layer and ran this way straight along and down and connected to this first trace here. See, that's part of that, the trace that used to run to that via. All right, moving on. Gonna have to fix all of the second layer traces in this one. Ooh, and I'm not gonna have much to work with up here. Ooh. These little traces that are still just hanging on by a thread, I want those to break off. I'd rather have it break off now than be in a position where I'm trying to actually solder a wire to it and find out it's not going to work. Alright, so now I should have both ends of all the traces that need to be addressed. Should have both ends of each of those exposed. Wait, I did forget. I forgot this little via right here in the middle for the short trace, the little lollipop. All right. I can get things cleaned up and start fixing. So to sum up where we're at, we've got third layer. This is LCM reset that is going to connect down here to this first trace. And then the second one connects up here. Third one connects here. Fourth one connects here. Fifth one connects here. Sixth one connects here. And I do want to check out, how spongy is this over here? Are any of these guys broken? I hope not. I think I'll leave those alone for now. If any of those are broken, it'll take out Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So I'm just going to address all of this to begin with and get this thing booting up again with working image. And obviously replacing that filter that I knocked off. Once I have that done, then I'll test and see if Wi-Fi and Bluetooth work, and if not, then I'll know I need to come back in. So to repair this, I'm going to be using a 45 gauge wire, which is just about the same thickness as a hair. The scale isn't always clear, so here's a quarter next to where we're working. So the entire working area fits in like maybe 6 or 7 of the ridges on a quarter. Very, very small. There we go. One down. There we go. Oh man, if only all of them went like that one did. Be over in a couple of minutes. I definitely should have tinned that trace before. All right. All right, come on. Oh, that's annoying when the ground starts to get tinned. There we go. No more bridging to ground, no more short to ground. Okay, moving on. 2 more left. Uh, uh, you fucker. Whew, okay. You little bastard. Maybe a little more flux. Maybe that's what it needs. There we go. When in doubt, add more flux. Oh, you son of a bitch. Get back on there. Ah, this is going to drive me nuts. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, it's really being difficult to connect this wire right next to the other one, but I still have plenty of that trace to work with. So I'm just going to expose some copper a little farther up so that I can get this on here without disturbing the one next to it. Alright, just move you over as much as you'll go. Now it's going to go on nice and easy. And then up here I have no choice but to put them right next to each other, because I'd have to remove flash driver and dig underneath that to get any more of this trace exposed. But no need to do that. Alright, everything cleaned up and it looks good. Just gotta put some epoxy on those guys and that'll be done. Now this, I don't think I'm gonna find damage under there, but I'll peel it up just to see. It's definitely, the board isn't spongy, so that's always a good sign. Sometimes this ground plane can just get pushed down and through the kind of separation of the layers and go and just touch the second layer traces so that they aren't damaged, but they are being shorted to ground. So I'm just going to peel this off just so that I know that's not happening. I'm sure the traces aren't cut. If I scrape down, I'll find copper traces with like the impression in them, just kind of a little divot across them from the end of the screw that screwed in there. But I'm not going to find broken traces. So I'm not going to dig because there's no need. Alright, let's see. What have I not stolen that filter from yet? Actually, I have a match for that filter, I believe. Yeah, here we go. Not going to scavenge from a donor board tonight because I think I've already taken all of the ones. Alright, where did you go? There you are. Oh, come on, don't turn that way. There you go. Alright, that's going to be good. Let's give this a test. And again, all I'm worried about right now is just getting that Apple logo. All right, there we go. So this one's booting again. Now it goes back into known good test parts so it can be fully tested, but it's probably going to be good to go. And that leaves us with the 6 Plus, which I think I'm going to take a short break and stitch these videos together. Okay, and I'm back with the 6 Plus. So now with these, there's 50% chance that touch ICs are going to be damaged. It's going to have the classic touch disease. Oh, look at that. This one actually has been fixed for touch before and has the metal shield on the back. Neat. So yeah, the long screw damage in these is most often goes hand in hand with touch because the damage is caused when a technician is trying different screens, trying to diagnose touch problems, see if it's just the screen, and they mix up the screws at some point during that. All right. Also, the presence of this rubbery, kind of clear rubbery glue is usually a sign that this is an Apple refurb. Yeah, so is these stickers that aren't normally there on the 6 Plus. But most of the time Apple refurbs will also have some sort of a marking in ink right in this area. And this one doesn't seem to have it, so maybe it's someone else that did the refurb on it. So we're going to hope that whoever did that touch job and put that shield on there did the jumper for touch, and that touch is not going to be a problem here. Hopefully it's just going to be the long screw damage. Now all 3 holes have damage in them, but this one, it's very, very rare that any traces are actually damaged. If I remember correctly, there's only one that tends to get damaged in those rare cases, and it is for Wi-Fi. So I will pass on exploring that area until, oh, look at that. I'm just ripping these ear speaker filters off left and right tonight. Anyways, I'm going to skip looking into that hole until after I've tested. Let's see, if Wi-Fi works, then no need. Alright, how bad is this? Not that bad. It's not spongy. It's always nice when it's not spongy like this one. This one's spongy, and that sucks. When they're not spongy, they typically don't really have much of the delamination of the layers of the PCB. When they are spongy, then yeah, you can guarantee there's going to be a bunch of second layers stuck to this top ground plane, and there's going to be breaks in lines all over the place randomly, wherever it felt like breaking, wherever it was weakest. So I guess might as well start with the hard one first. Now, how far out does this... It's not spongy back here, so that's good. I can probably get away with leaving this shield on. So again, I'm going to score the board so I can kind of control the areas that this ground plane comes off. And just like I expected, it is a real mess under here. Gonna have a lot of stuff to fix. Oh, that was bound to happen. Anytime you have this like delaminated stuff, it's really, really difficult to expose the copper on multiple traces in that without just ripping everything off. Which unfortunately means that I end up with very, very little to work with on this trace. So I'm just going to try to dig back a little more, just get a little bit more copper. There we go. Ooh. Ooh, damn. Okay, there we go. I can work with that. All right, so that one's going to go there. This one is going to go there. This one is going to come over to a via that is right here. And then this via kind of runs around this way and connects up here. So this guy is going to connect down there, that one to there. And then what else do we have? That one seems okay. All right, so this one connects, I believe, here. Yeah, he's going to connect right over to this piece of trace. And there's going to be another via here that will connect to this trace right there. There we go, and then this last one runs up and over at an angle and then out this way. So he should be right over here. There we go. I was afraid this one was going to get loose. I'm just going to cut some of that flappy end off and try to connect to that little bit that I've got exposed copper on. All right. I'm just going to quickly tin up the things I'll be working on. Oh, that's going to be a tough one. Re-tin my tweezer tips because they're not really working as well as I want them to right now. That's a lot better. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. These first two have the potential to be the hardest two. So if these go well, if this other one goes well, then this should be pretty short from there on. There we go. Now, are you going to connect down here for me, or are you going to be an asshole? I think that is on there. Yep, that's on there. All right. Sweet. Now the rest of these should be fairly easy. There we go. That comes around and goes right here. Okay, last one. That one's going to be a pain because it's next to some tinned up ground, which I could always just cut out, or I could try and do this the hard way. Just brute force. Keep trying until it works. Okay, that should do it. We can have a look at the other side and see if anything needs to be fixed over there. If not, we'll be ready to test. Yeah, this is the area I like to refer to as the handful of spaghetti. That one's a little weak. Gonna have to resolder that joint. There, that's better. Okay. Arrange things so that nobody's touching. And once everything is tested, I'll put on some epoxy, which will fill in all the gaps and get under the wires that I'm going to kind of leave floating. There we go. All right. Now let's see what we have behind door number 2. And it's just ground, so we're good. Nothing delaminated, nothing severed. So this should boot right up now. Now this one I'm going to let boot past the Apple logo because I do want to see if it has touch. Alright, we got Apple logo, so that's a good start. There we go. And it looks like we do not have touch. So let's have a look at the touch ICs. All right, let's see if it looks like Mason got a jumper. Yes, it does look like Mason got a jumper. All right, so that's probably good news. That probably means that my tester screen is just worn out. Been using the same one for a long time. Okay, come on, touch. You're gonna work this time. And no, the graphic defects that were there are gone. Oh, and there goes the power. Graphic defects that were there are now gone, but I still have no touch. So I am going to go ahead and end this video because this was really just intended to be the long screw damage repairs. And I'll look more into what's going on with touch on this board and maybe record another video if I remember. But alright, that's it for the long screw damage though. Thanks for watching.